Compleat Wrks show, we've encountered this problem. How do we make these 400-year-old plays accessible to a modern audience? One popular trend is to take these plays and transpose them into modern setting. We've seen examples of this with such unusual locations as the lunar landscape, Nazi concentration camps, and slam. In this vein, actors traced the roots of Shakespeare's symbolism in the context of a pre-Nietzschean society, through the totality of June's circular relationship form, contrasted with the complete otherness of metaphysical cosmologies, and the ethical mores entrenched in the subconscious of an agrarian race. So we now present Titus Andronicus as a cooking show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, gourmets, and welcome to Roman Meals. I'm your host, Titus Andronicus. Now, when you've had a long day, your left hand chopped off, your son's murdered, your daughter raped, her tongue cut out, and both her hands chopped off, well, the last thing you want to do is cook, isn't it? Unless, of course, you cook the rapist and serve him to his mother at a dinner party. My daughter Lavinia and I will show you how. Good evening, Lavinia.
Good evening, Father.
And how are we today?
Oh, so good, Father. I had my tongue chopped off.
I know, it's a pisser, isn't it? But we'll get our revenge, won't we? Now hark, villain. I will go grind thy bones to dust. And with thy blood in it, I'll make a paste. And of that paste, a coffin will I rear, and make a pasty of thy shameful head. Come, Lavinia, receive the blood. Now you want to make a nice, clean incision from the carotid artery to the jugular vein, like so.
That's gross, Father.
You want to use a nice, big bowl for this, because the human body has about 4 quarts of blood in it. And when that he is dead, which should be right about now, I will go grind his bones to powder small, and with this hateful liquor temper it. And in the paste, let his vile head be baked at about 350 degrees. And 40 minutes later, you have the most wonderful human head pie. Fit for a king, with ladyfingers for dessert. Welcome, gracious lord. Welcome, dread queen. Would please you eat? Would please you feed? It's finger-licking good. Well, that's about all we've got time for. But be sure to tune in next time when our guest chef, Timon of Athens, will be showing us how to make ratatouille out of our special guests, the Merry Wives of Windsor. Until then, bon appetit!
I hope no one was too offended by Titus Andronicus. It seems that when Shakespeare was younger, he went through an early Tarantino stage. No doubt if he were alive today, he'd be in Hollywood making Titus Andronicus 4, just as But now it's time to move on to Shakespeare's more mature plays, starting with his dark and brooding tragedy, Othello, or Venice.
Speak of me as I am. Let nothing extenuate one who loved not wisely, but too well. But never was there a story of more woe than this of Othello and his Desdemona. Oh, Desi!
I'm sorry. Left Anna alone to research this play, and she obviously looked up. One more is Wikipedia and replacement time.
He said.
Which, in this context, is completely ridiculous. In the 16th century, the word war referred to a black person.
Oh. I feel like such a dick.
Yeah, go with the feeling. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as Othello the Moor of Venice was written for a black actor, and we're racially challenged, basically. We've decided to, due to physical limitations, skip Othello, move on to another one of Shakespeare's.
No, just because we're not black doesn't mean we can't do Othello, look. Okay, so I've got another idea. Just kind of go with it. It's fine. Just put this on. Yeah, it's fine.
Sure.
Yeah, I've thought about it. You can run with it. Just go with it. Ready?
It's a story of a brother by the name of Othello.
He liked white women and he liked green jello.
and a punk named Iago who made himself a menace because he didn't like Othello, the Moor of Venice.
And Othello got married to Desdemona.
Took her for the wars and left her alone.
It was a Mona.
A groaner.
He left her alone.
He didn't write a letter and he didn't telephone her. Desdemona, she was faithful, she was faithfully tight, she was the daughter of a duke.
She was totally white. And Othello had a plan that was clever and slick. It was crafty.
It was sly.
It was sort of a dick.
It was the Desi as a dog, Sister Venus.
And Desi loved Othello because he had a massive
Sword!
He said, I'm going to shove them all.
How are you going to do it?
Tell us.
He said, I know his tragic glories that it's
Too damn jealous.
I need a dupe, I need a dope, I need a son of a schmo.
So we found a chump sucker by the name of Cassio.
And he planted on him Desdemona with a cheek.
So Othello gets to wondering just what he did. He'll be out fighting, commanding an army.
A Desi and Cass playing had the salami. Salami. Salami.
So he came back, almost like a pillow in a face.
Kills her and soliloquizes about his disgrace.
But there's Amelia at the door.
Who we met in Act 4.
You say, you can tell me she wasn't no whore, she was
Pure.
she was clean.
Virginal too. So why'd you have to go and make a face turn?
It's true. Now what you gonna do? And Othello say,
Oh, this is getting pretty scary.
Pulled out of blizzard, he committed Harry Carey.
played up fucking music. Diego got caught, but he probably copped a plea.
Loaded up his bags.
Moved to Beverly.
Hills, that is.
Bang tiny. I think it's time to move away from all this tragedy and go to comedies for a while.
Comedy.
Let's do it.
Okay. Now when it came to comedies, Shakespeare was a genius at borrowing and adapting plot devices from other theatrical traditions.
Yeah, these influences include the Roman plays of Plautus and Terence, Ovid's Metamorphoses, which are hysterically funny, and the rich Italian tradition of Commedia dell'arte.
Yeah. Basically, Shakespeare stole every play he ever wrote.
Whoa, stole is a bit strong, Anna. Distilled.
Alright, so Shakespeare distilled 3 or 4 of the funniest gimmicks of his time and milked them into 16 different plays.
See, once Shakespeare found something he liked, he used it.
Over and over again.
So, Mr. Shakespeare, the question we have is this.
Why did you write 16 comedies when you could have written just one? In answer to this question, we at the Wrks Shakespeare Company have taken the liberty of condensing all 16 of Shakespeare's comedies into one, entitled The Comedy of Two Well-Measured Gentlemen Lost in the Merry Wives of Venice on a Midsummer's 12th Night in Winter.
Or, simply taming Pericles the Merchant of the Tempest of as much as you like it.
Or
Four Weddings and a Transvestite.
Comedy?
Comedy!
Comedy. Act 1. A Spanish duke swears an oath of celibacy and turns the rule of his kingdom over to his sadistic and tyrannical twin brother. He learns some fantastical feats of magic and sets sail for the golden age of Greece, along with his daughters, 3 beautiful and virginal sets of identical twins. While rounding the hill of Italy, the duke's ship is caught in a terrible tempest, which in his fury cast the duke upon a desert island, along with the most beautiful and virginal of his daughters, who stumbles into a cave, where she is molested by a creature who's either a man or a fish.
Act 2. The long-lost children of the Duke's brothers, also coincidentally 3 sets of identical twins, have just arrived in Italy. Though still possessed of an inner nobility, they are ragged, destitute, penniless, flea-infested shadows of the men they once were, and in the utmost extremity are forced to borrow money from an old Jew, who deceives them into putting down their brains as collateral on the loan. Meanwhile, the 6 brothers fall in love with the 6 Italian sisters, 3 of whom are contentious, sharp-tongued little shrews, while the other 3 are submissive, air-headed little bimbos.
Act 3. The shipwrecked identical daughters of the Duke wash up on the shores of Italy, disguise themselves as men, and become pages to the shrews and matchmakers to the Duke's brothers' sons. They lead all the lovers into a nearby forest where, on a midsummer's night, a bunch of mischievous fairies squeeze the aphroditic juice of a hermaphroditic flower in the shoes, causing them to fall in love with their own pages, who, in turn, have fallen in love with the Duke's brothers' sons, while the queen of the fairies seduces a jackass, and they all have a lovely, bisexual, animalistic orgy. Act 4.
The elderly fathers of the Italian sisters find their daughters missing, dispatch messages to the pages telling them to kill any man in the vicinity.
However, unable to find the men in the forest, the faithful messengers, in a final misguided act of loyalty, deliver the messages to each other and kill themselves.
Meanwhile, the fish creature and the Duke arrive in the forest disguised as Russians, and for no apparent reason perform a 2-man underwater version of Les Mis.
Act 5.
The Duke commands the fairies to right their wrongs.
The pages and the bimbos get into a knockdown drag-out fight in the mud.
During which the pages' clothes get ripped off, revealing female genitalia.
The Duke recognizes his daughters
brother's son.
One of the bimbos grows up to be Paris Hilton.
You all get married and go out to dinner.
Except a minor character in the second act who gets eaten by a bear, and the Duke's brother's sons who, unable to pay back the old Jew, give themselves lobotomies. And they all
Live happily ever after.